All right. Good morning. Today is, oh my God, what is it? It's Thursday, May 7th. Another episode of Sheltering with the Supes. Today we have 4th District Supervisor Virginia Bass. Virginia, how you doing this morning?
Great. It's a sunny day. I've already been outside working because it's nice to get a little break from inside.
There you go. And and you're
I brought you
surviving the
outside
pollen,
with me.
right? There you go. I appreciate
The
it.
pollen is crazy. I know. Yeah, it's crazy out here. That's one of the things I'm working on, trying to get rid of it. So I'm not suffering alone, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely. It's all around. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We want to do some, some of the latest updates as it relates to COVID in Humboldt County. One of the latest notices that we received was about a new testing center at Redwood Acres and people being able to access that. Can you give us some details on the testing center?
I'll give it as best I can. We've all been really excited about this. I think Humboldt County was the first one to have one deployed in our area, and of course, it took a little time to work out the bugs. But I think it's been working splendidly, and now we are at the point where others in the community can actually make an appointment to come in. I'm hearing there's a little bit of trouble on the website occasionally. I would tell people to try it. If it doesn't work, there's also a way to call in and register by phone. But it's basically for members of the community at large, but definitely there's priority that's going to be given to the folks who are in the higher risk categories, over 65, chronic medical conditions, first responders, healthcare workers, and the like, folks who work in congregate settings. But recently I've had several people call me and say, is it okay if I make an appointment because I don't want to take a spot from someone else? And so my answer has been, yes, you certainly need to make an appointment, or you don't have to, but we sure would like it. And they'll prioritize you as best, what works for the community, I think. So I suspect a lot of folks are getting excited to now have the opportunity, and I'll be interested to see how it rolls out when the public actually starts taking advantage of those appointments. I don't have one yet.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting too. It's exciting that we were able to get one of those testing sites from the state. We were the first ones in the state to do it, and to have this accessible to anybody is a huge development. And that's increased testing, as I understand it, is a big factor when we're talking about reopening the economy. And so there's been a lot of talk about reopening beginning this Friday. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what that's going to look like?
Yeah, well, and I think I wanted to touch on exactly what you said about, testing is one of the areas where you have to hit a certain threshold, ability to handle surge capacity for hospitalizations. I was reading earlier today that half of the counties are only, we're part of, how do I say this? We're part of the half of the state that actually have had no deaths, which actually lets us move faster as well. So there's all these pieces that come together, and and then so we get to have this soft reopening, and it's kind of hard to really clarify because we're all still waiting for news from the governor. There are conferences every day. He has one at noon. I think we're all tuned in trying to get a little more information. And so hopefully by the end of today, we may have a little bit more of the guidelines. But in general, retail and manufacturing can open. Retail is only if you can do curbside or delivery. And it's going to be hard for people to get used to, but our local community has been really adapting quite well. I know that I've been ordering things and picking up at this curbside, and at first it seemed weird, and now it's like, oh, this is so simple. And I don't buy all those extra things I don't need. I actually get what I want and what I need and no extras. So there could be a benefit to this. And then, as we move forward and businesses, well, there's a way for businesses there'll be a way for businesses to certify that they have safe practices, such as, ways to mitigate the risks of their businesses and keep their employees and their customers safe. And so there is going to be a process for doing that, and it may already be up and running, and I really can't give you the details. I'm hoping you can fill that in later, or someone can. But businesses, I think, that are really on the ball, and many of them have plans of how to operate safely. And I think that's going to be very important, because as we move forward from the soft opening into the regular stage 2, it's going to become very important that they have plans in place.
Right.
And the businesses that have good plans in place, will be able to move forward more quickly. And the state actually has it set up that in some communities where all the conditions are going, tracking along in a certain way, they can actually do an acceleration to the third stage. Excuse me, my pollen is getting me. It's not talking to you that's making me cry. And in that third stage, we have a lot of things in there that people really miss, like, getting your hair done, your nails done, a massage. We hear about all these different things. Well, what people could be doing right now is working to find ways to mitigate those risks. So some of those that are considered the stage 3 most risky can actually move up to an earlier point of stage 3 or even late stage 2. Mm-hmm. So that's an opportunity that the governor is affording us. One thing I want to remind people is, everyone keeps saying, well, look at U Bend Sutter, they're open. And what is coming out is that, yes, they're open, but many of their businesses are being facing the chance of having their business licenses revoked from the state. So if you are in an occupation and you have a license from the state, like a liquor license or you're a cosmetologist, there's a variety of them, don't go, don't open before you're supposed to, because you could seriously, if you think this has messed up with your livelihood, that would really mess it up if you lose your license. So I just want to tell people to proceed cautiously. It's never as fast as we want, but we have to be safe. Other parts of the country are experiencing, upsurges again, and it could happen to any of us. So, but I'm excited. I plan to, I'm not going to, people shouldn't just run out and go hang out on the street corners seeing who's open. And, it's not that you're supposed to be loitering around. If you need the thing, definitely go out and get it. Stay 6 feet away from people. Wear your mask at all times, even if people don't like it. And, we can get through this. It's just different. I mean, that's an understatement.
Different. A lot of changes coming this week and next week, especially. You've talked about the certification process. I know that the Emergency Operations Center, where there are, just about every department in the county is working on that certification process. Like you said, we're waiting to get some guidelines from the state as to what needs to be included. We know that businesses are going to need to require facial coverings, allow foot traffic so that there's still 6 feet of social distancing, things like that. But I know that our county staff is at the ready. They're, dedicating every resource they can to get the certification process up and running as quickly as possible, as soon as we get the green light from the state. So that is an exciting thing. Absolutely. And I can't wait to see, I've seen some drafts of those certification posters, and I can't wait to see those popping up in businesses everywhere.
Well, and I think it's important. I've heard from the sheriff and others that are involved that they plan to be, basically working through the night if they have to, in order to get as many people online as soon as possible. So, there's definitely a desire on our part to make things happen. And I hope people understand that, this isn't anything we've ever done before. No one has. Maybe that's why I call it pandemic. Thank goodness they don't happen more than once a lifetime, because, you could get, it's a real interesting experience. Yeah. And so is the pollen. I'm having more problems with pollen than anything else right now.
All right. Well, All right. Well, I'll let you get out of the pollen. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us, Supervisor Bass. Like we said, it's an exciting week to come, and we'll see what happens in the coming days.
All right. Well, thanks for all you do, and you need to get outside now.
I need to get outside. It's a beautiful day out there. I will mask up. I'll take my allergy pills and see if I can survive it.
Yeah, I've got my last one, so yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sean.
Stay safe.